And we're coming to you live from $1 Million Studios. Your boys, Chris Speez,
a.k.a. Powder White.
And the benchmark of professional wrestling, Mr. Silky Baines.
A.k.a. Texas T.
Speez and the Benchmark Show on a Monday night, September 17th, 2018. Thank you so much for being with us, all of you joining us here on Periscope or over on the YouTubes. We appreciate you guys coming along. We hope you'll subscribe wherever you are and consider sharing the program on Twitter, Periscope, all your followers. Get as many folks in here as we can. And as Silky is pointing out, if you want to contribute to the show, you can leave those super hearts on Periscope or leave a tip at the tip jar, tinyurl.com/
Or do both.
Or do both.
These bills need to get paid.
Indeed they do. tinyurl.com/SB tip jar is the website there. So be sure to hit us up on the tip jar if you like. And as usual, we are taking your phone call. So if you want to get in on the conversation, give us a call at 832-937-4559.
No, that's not how it goes. 832-93-SILKY.
Totally ridiculous. We still got to get a jingle going for that because it'll be great. So give us a call, 832-937-4559.
I got one.
You got a jingle?
I got a jingle.
Okay, let's hear it.
The benchmark's black. Speez is milky. You want to talk to us? Call 93-SILKY.
I love it.
Boom.
There it is. Done.
Bam.
Done. It's already done.
Off the top of the head, too.
Just freestyling it there.
Yeah, freestyle. Light work.
Shout out to Brooke over in the YouTube chat. Thank you for being with us. And Silky, who we got over joining us on the Periscopes?
Oh, we got Jeff Cross, who just sent us super hearts.
Thank
Our
you,
boy
sir.
Alistair sent us super hearts already. Cody Michael Ray, Rebecca, Michael Berry, Francisco White, Adam Awesome, Bubba Ruski.
Bubba Ruski's here.
Who I believe just told me to cover up my New York hat.
Yeah, well, that happens. Handful of other people that we can't see. Can't see everybody, but thank you all for being here.
Apter.
Brandon Apter from Get the Tables podcast. Always good to have you. So give us a call if you want to get in. We're talking Hell in a Cell tonight. We were talking Monday Night Raw after Hell in a Cell. We'll get into all the happenings of the last couple days, and we want to hear your takes as well.
But I think we should bring back a segment.
We definitely need to do that because before we begin, as you know, a WWE pay-per-view is the prime opportunity for wrestling fans to voice their opinions. Some of them good, some of them bad, some of them downright hilarious. So we have collected, as we are known to do, the worst of the worst, the biggest crybabies, the ones who piss and moan the most about what is going on or not going on.
The whole lot of them are bitches.
A brand new segment. Second time we're doing it, actually, but it's a fan favorite. Everybody seems to like it. Time for another edition of Smark Tears here on the program. It's the Hell in a Cell version, Selkie. So let's get things going here. Sorry, I jumped ahead before I was ready to jump ahead, but that's okay. This one actually not exactly one that's whiny, but still pretty funny. Dean Ambrose always looks like he's about to make a quick trip to Best Buy and hopes he can get in and out before he sees anyone that he knows. I love that. I think that's a great take. Onward, Silky.
The WWE writers are the Buffalo Bills of the NFL. They suck.
That's definitely a crybaby take there for sure. Maurice didn't have to return to WWE TV so soon after giving birth to a whole human, as opposed to a part of a human.
Or a quarter.
But she still did it and had 2 wrestling matches that she did not need just so you fat fucks could call her lazy. To freedom! I don't know what the to freedom thing is, but more power to you.
I guess so. WWE sucks. For some reason, they only have the assholes winning on this pay-per-view.
Only assholes allowed, apparently. So, not sure what that's all about. Brock Lesnar, dude, just go the fuck away. No one wants to see you anymore. You suck, you're overpaid, you're overrated, and can't wrestle worth shit. Just stop. And this is the best part. Hashtag Hell in a Cell, hashtag Universal Championship, hashtag piece of shit Lesnar. So just in case you wanted to search for the hashtag piece of shit Lesnar, you would know what's out there.
Rollins and Ambrose are relegated to mid-card, but that wet fart Reigns is prime time. This is why WWE sucks.
That wet fart Roman Reigns. A preview of Ronda Rousey's makeup tonight.
Oh, wow. That's surprisingly accurate.
Oh, that's good stuff for sure.
A live look at me while I'm watching Rousey vs. Bliss.
Apparently, Not a fan. There's a lot of people that weren't big fans of,
there's a lot of people that
of the Rousey and Bliss match. Anyone who knows a bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can tell that armbar was not well executed and did not attack the elbow. That tap out was like a fake orgasm.
And I'm pretty sure that's something that guy probably knows a lot about.
Probably a lot about women.
Or maybe not as much because he's not getting women.
That's true. That's true, too.
Ring technician Maurice did her homework and realized that Brie Bella's major weakness is being Brie Bella.
That's wrong. That's a bit
wrong.
harsh. I laughed, but it's
it's funny. It's funny.
That opening to Brie Bella's theme has to be the most irritating sound in the world. I'd use it on a loop at loud volumes to torture terrorists.
That's funny.
Oh, and speaking of Brie Bella's music, oh, look who else made it to Smart Tears. I hate Brie Bella's music. Oh, Silky Beans doesn't like it.
I hate you so much.
All right, one more here. Here we go.
I'm tired of seeing that nigga Brock Lesnar going to the WWE. That shit's annoying. Like, nigga, do UFC or wrestle. LOL. It ain't that hard.
There it is, folks. A brand new episode of Smart Tears. You gotta love Smart Tears. It's a great little segment there. I'm a big fan of it. So, back to Hell in a Cell. We hope you get a kick out of Smart Tears. Remember, you can give us a call here on the program, 832-937-4559 or
832-93-SILKY.
There it is. So I don't think we can start anywhere else when we're talking about Hell in a Cell than with this main event. The main event was all over the place. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar.
So much stuff happening.
I say Brock Lesnar because total surprise that he was there. Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman in a Hell in a Cell match where there has to be a winner.
Has to be.
By pinfall or submission because it's Hell in a Cell.
Because those are the only two ways you win. That's the only
true.
two ways the match ends.
Yeah, we're getting to some of the comments here on Smart Tears. Why did I laugh the most from the last tweet? Yeah, I think that one's a great one. It's very good. And Brooke enjoys it as well. So let's get to this main event, Silky. I think overbooked would be an overstatement. There was so much shit going on in this match. Understatement, sorry. And none of it really made a whole hell of a lot of sense.
I mean, it made sense. It really did. But it's just too much when you take almost 7 minutes of your main event match and you're not even focused on the two guys in the fucking match. It's just the 4 guys fighting on top of the cage, or at that point it may have been like 2 because Rollins and Ziggler went off through the table. And like, I just don't, and I get how they're trying to build up this 6-man and stuff, more heat for the 6-man at the Super Showdown and whatnot, but this is your main event of Hell in a Cell. Like, this had to follow Randy Orton sticking a fucking screwdriver through an ear hole and twisting. Like,
yeah, we're gonna get to that.
This had to follow that, and it did not.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a little bit. But you could have just had the brawl in the tag title match inside a cell. That's true. Bob Ruski overbooked, definitely the case. But I think just like it was too much going on that took away from what you're supposed to sell, which is you're supposed to sell us this pay-per-view on Braun versus Roman. And it's one thing if that match happens elsewhere on the card, but when you have that happen and that's the last thing that everyone sees, it's the taste that's going to be in everybody's mouth once the pay-per-view is over with, it's going to cause problems. And so Rebecca Smith points it out here in the chat. 7 minutes and one guy couldn't move inside the ring. They literally laid there. I'm talking about Braun and Roman for 7 minutes.
Doing nothing.
They didn't take the cameras back inside the cell on the match that was the main event for the Universal Championship, which is being booked as the most important championship in WWE
right now. Yes,
and the 2 guys that are involved in the match are not even there.
Like, I just don't. I mean, it was just, to me, it wasn't that great of a look for Braun or, I mean, Roman's first big match since he won the title. And Braun's first big match is, well, not really his first one-on-one, but, you know, a big match for Braun. It just wasn't a good look for either of them. I mean, they didn't need all of that. I mean, there was, and here's my take, and I talked to you a little bit off air, is that nothing Brock did was any more brutal than the shit that they did to each other.
Already, yeah,
Like,
totally agree.
I could understand like an F5 and the fucking ring collapses or throw someone through the fucking cage and being a reason to stop the match, but, you know, hit them with a couple of pieces of broken table, then F5 them, and then that's it. The match, like, they can't go.
Yeah.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
He ran into some fucking stairs.
Yeah, I
they
agree.
threw each other into the fucking cage. Like, but you draw the line at the F5, and then Roman's wasn't even that bad because he landed on Strowman.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad either. Welcome to Get the Tables, and thank you for the Super Hearts there. Thank you all for the Super Hearts, those of you who are bringing them along. Make sure you hit that share button and get some more folks in here with us. So let's get to some of these comments on here because I'm seeing some folks. That spear was, Chilluminati says that spear was too much for either of them to get up. Kayfabe, bro. So, you know, it was an old school TNA finish, a no DQ match that ends because of interference. That's true. And fighting champion certainly was not much of a fighting champion last night. That's definitely true. Bobaruski says that brawl reminded me of the wacky booking that TNA would have done in the Bischoff and Hogan era.
Yep.
I don't think it was just all that brutal at all. Randy and Jeff, that was brutal, says Rebecca, and I totally agree. Thank you, Alistair Fiend, for more Super Hearts. Welcome to Mary from Walmart. Becky won the title to promote the Marine. So,
I saw that, like, it's going to be so bad, but I'm probably going to watch that
see,
one.
I'm trying to figure out a way, and I don't know how we could do this because of copyright issues, but it would be so much fun to have like an online, you know, chat room screening of the Marine 6. It would be so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
We got to figure out a way to make that happen. I don't know. We got to. Okay, this is what you're going to do, Sugi. You need to figure out a way to get in touch with the Miz because I'm sure it's very easy.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Just give him a holler and say, Miz, this is what we're doing, buddy. We're having a screening. We're going to show it on our show. We're going to have the chat room going. You need to swing by. You and Maurice can join us via chat.
Yes.
And we're going to watch the Marine 6. I'm sure he'd be all over.
Sky, all that shit.
Sure he'd be all over. What's up, Raymond? Good to see you, sir. Landing on Braun must be like landing on a giant teddy bear.
It could be.
Let's see. NoFX says all the men's cash-ins have been failures. Now Money in the Bank is a joke. The last two have definitely been
that's true.
not cool at all. It's kind, you know, you peaked when you had Seth Rollins cash in at WrestleMania because it just didn't get any better than that. That
it
was
doesn't.
amazing, and it's just been downhill since there, which you would expect, but you wouldn't have expected it to drop this far. I mean, this is disappointing. What do you think about the WWE 2K19 game? Well, I think that's why AJ Styles is still your WWE champion.
Oh, you suck so
if you
much.
watch if you guys are regular viewers of the program, which many of you are, you'll know that Silky and I are generally pretty shitty at making picks, and we actually did very well.
We actually did.
This last one. I got 6 out of 7 matches right. I really would have only gotten 5 out of 7, but Silky reminded me that AJ Styles is on the cover of 2K19 and he probably wasn't going to lose.
I think you
So
should
I took
get
him.
half for that. Just like I should get the other half because technically he did tap out. So
Well, either way,
technically
I
Joe
mean,
won the match. So
we're
half
still-
a point for me. I'm
We're
like
still both
5.5.
pretty bad at picking, but we were pretty good at this one.
Yeah,
So
on this one, it was
that's
pretty
not bad.
good. We picked Ronda Rousey,
We did pick Ronda Rousey.
and it was actually, I thought, not bad.
Well, we'll definitely get to Ronda's match as we go
That's
forward
his
as well.
speak.
Dr. Huge, how about Dr. Huge being in the house? I should have your sound effect ready to go much quicker than I do. It's always on standby, and he's dropping super hearts on us as well. So thank you for that, Dr. Huge. Brooke can't wait for 2K19. I know the Doc is a big fan of 2K19. Doc hates 2K19.
I know he does.
He's not a fan of those games at all. Okay. Sorry, I saw nothing, and I wasn't sure what Alistair Fiend was looking at there. So, where do we go from here? It looks like we're going to have the triple threat match in Australia. Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman.
No.
Or is it not?
No,
Oh,
in
that's-
Australia,
is that-
it's the 6-man.
There's too many fucking shows that we're promoting
it's
right
the,
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is
Australia's the 6-man tag.
with the Shield against
Saudi Arabia's Crazy Prince wants Lesnar to be there, so he's going to show
Crown
up.
Jewel.
The Crown Jewel. Thank you, Bobaruski. We'll see. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. I don't know what that was all about last night. I thought the Seth Rollins Dolph Ziggler match tonight was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because they're both selling this bad back. They look like a couple fucking 70-year-old men. Like, oh, everything they fucking do is just.
Well, I mean, they did kind of fall off. That does not feel good.
No, I agree.
At a certain height, like I've been put through many a table, and when it's not that far, it kind of breaks your fall, so it's not as sucky. But at a certain height, that table just explodes. So it's just like landing on the floor, as if he had fallen from the cell straight to the floor.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was just funny watching those guys oversell it like they did. It was great. Thank you, Brandon Apter, for the Super Hearts. We definitely appreciate that. Too many pay-per-views coming up. I agree, Rebecca Smith. It's nuts. WWE's playing the Amazing Race with all these international shows. They certainly are. Let's get over to AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, because this was the match that probably you and I were looking forward to the most.
Yes.
Because this feud has been outstanding. Joe's been outstanding and selling it as a heel. I mean, everything about it's been great. And to be honest, I absolutely loved the finish of this match.
This is what the Nakamura AJ feud should have been.
Oh,
I mean,
so good.
You notice they're really doing the same shit.
They very much are.
Wrestle at a
except
big
for
pay-per-view.
Crotch shots and whatnot.
Yeah, except for the, dick shots. But they wrestled at a big pay-per-view. Then they wrestled again and again. But the difference is, like, AJ's, even though, they did the last man standing, it was just so, like, one note.
Yeah.
The whole feud was one note. This one is personal, and people invest in that because they can easily identify with, like, oh, if I was AJ, I'd fuck him up. Like, you talked about my family. Like,
Well, Nakamura doesn't have the ability, whether it be the language barrier or whatever, he doesn't have the ability to sell a feud the way that Samoa Joe does. And so
he could. I think he could. I mean, obviously he wouldn't do it the same way, but I'm pretty sure I feel confident that Nakamura could actually sell a good feud if given the proper material.
Well, in that case, if you're right, then they just dropped the ball, because that was boring as shit.
Yeah, they did. Really, they 100% dropped the ball. Like, I'm in the minority. I love the match they did at WrestleMania until the heel. Well, I like the heel turn, and then it was everything subsequent of the heel turn that went to shit. Yeah,
that's fair. NoFX says, but Shin didn't have to read a stupid kid's book. I think it would have been awesome to hear Nakamura read a kid's book.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
That would have been
I would have been all for it. I thought that would have been awesome.
Babaruski says, R.I.P. Jeff Hardy's here.
Man, that was so insane. Rebecca Smith says, nothing against AJ, but I'm ready for a title drop. Yeah, AJ, folks are speculating as to whether or not he's going to get the, beat CM Punk's title reign. I don't get fired up about CM Punk's title reign because fucking Bruno Sammartino held the thing for like 8 consecutive years. So
but this is
I don't give a shit about.
This is you have not seen not one Bruno Sammartino fucking match happen.
Horse shit. I have seen Bruno Sammartino matches. Bruno Sammartino was badass. Now, I didn't see him during his 8-year run as WWE champion, but that's not to say I can't respect Bruno Sammartino's 8-year run.
So
as
are
champion.
you going to tell me that none of the Divas title reigns mean shit? Because Moolah held that bitch for like 27 fucking years.
Yeah, that's right. So when some diva holds it for 27 years, I'll say, hey, she was she had a longer streak than Moolah. You can't just rewrite history and say the shit never happened.
No one said the shit never happened. That's why they put all the fucking qualifiers. Longest reigning champion in modern time.
Yeah, that's my point. My point, modern time, like we're talking about the fucking title back in the 1700s or some shit. This was like 30 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, 30 years ago. Okay, 40 years ago.
A little bit more.
No.
Yeah.
40 years ago would have been 1978, which was round about the time that Sammartino lost it.
Yeah, so he won it 8 years before that, which is 1970.
It was still part of the streak. That's my point.
My point is, you are what's wrong.
Former math teacher here.
You are what's wrong with wrestling.
I'm not what's wrong with wrestling.
You are.
I am not.
You are what's wrong with.
What the fuck are you talking about?
As usual.
What's wrong with fans? Just like. Hey, I'm going to bring up.
Here's where Silky throws a tantrum because.
You are what's wrong with wrestling fans. Why it's so hard to get over for us wrestlers. Because you bitched.
For us.
Yes, us. I'm speaking of me as a wrestler and all my wrestling friends. Now, you bitched and bitched about Ronda Rousey. Did you not?
Okay, we're going to get into Ronda Rousey now?
Yes, we're going Ronda Rousey.
We're going Ronda Rousey.
You
Let's do
bitched
it.
and bitched about it, right? The 4-minute match at SummerSlam.
It was a turd.
It was a turd. You bitched about it. Then they came back and Hell in a Cell actually gave you a full match. And what was the text you sent me? Because I could pull it up. It was like, Silky,
probably
that
something
match.
that it was a train wreck.
That match was the shits. It was not the shits.
It was the shits.
It was not a great, catch as catch can classic. But, for the fact that Ronda actually did a full match It was interesting. It was.
Was it interesting?
Yes, it was
Well,
interesting.
you sit there going, I'm really interested in what happens next.
Well, no, I was just like, I'm interested that this is actually a full match. They're, Ronda's taking heat.
It was a full match.
She took heat. She came back. There was a finish. I mean, the armbar could be little to the side. But my point is, they gave you what you fucking wanted.
No.
You bitched about
what
having a 4-minute match. They
want
gave her like an 8 or 9 minute match.
Is for Ronda to look like a normal human being, okay, and not be grabbed by the hair and being in pain, and then all of a sudden just going. And hulking up and
how's that different? Exactly. How's that different than when Hulk Hogan fucking did it?
Because Hulk Hogan did it when we thought wrestling was real, number one, and I was fucking 8 years old at the time. I'm a little bit older than 8 years old now.
You're a lot older.
Okay, I'm just a little bit older.
A lot older.
And you're older than 8 years old too, so that shit you should look at that and go, that's hokey as all get out.
It is hokey.
And what was up with Ronda tonight coming out there like butthead? She's like out there get ready to give her just fucking laughing for no fucking apparent reason.
I actually
stop being hokey. Get a fucking character. It's completely ridiculous.
What?
I don't even know what that.
That's awesome. That is the best comment ever.
For those of you that can't see it,
it says
Ronda sells ribs like the black dudes down the street. Delicious.
It's racist and hilarious and spot on at the same time.
Oh, that's just.
Oh wow,
that's just good stuff.
Oh,
okay. You don't like the eyeliner, yeah? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the eyeliner. Yeah, let's not have a gif of me hulking up. Let's not do that.
Let's do that.
That'd actually be kind of funny. I would enjoy that thoroughly. Dr. Huge says Ronda. Oh, it was Ronda. It was Dr. Huge that said that. That was the porn bot that was repeating it. Dr. Huge. We got to give him props.
Yeah, Dr. Huge. Shout out to that.
Selling ribs like the black dude down the street.
That was a great one.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is good stuff.
Quite possibly the greatest comment ever.
That's why we like you, Doc. That's one of the many reasons that we like the Doc, because he's a hilarious guy. All right, folks, give us a call here on the program, 832-93-SILKY, 832-937-4559 if you want to get in.
93-SILKY.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that either.
You are such a dick.
Speez is 12. Well, I'm a child at heart, is what they say. Oh, somebody says the sleaze is already making a gif of me hulking up there. So look, I'm not on the Ronda bandwagon, dude. I'm just not on it.
Sleaze. Fuck you, porn bot.
Yeah. The sleaze is here. That's fantastic.
So you didn't notice that? See?
I did not see the sleaze come in. That's fantastic. If you guys aren't following at Dr. Huge Show, and particularly at the Sleaze 52. You're missing out. A positive motherfucker, as he likes to call himself. And, the Sleaze needs to call in. Give us a call. We'd love to have you for sure. Ronda just not doing it for me. We could go back and forth on that all day, but, Would it have killed Ronda to work in the Performance Center for 2 years? No, it would have been wonderful. But they're not going to do that because she's a huge draw. We talked about this last night on the Get the Tables podcast. The fact of the matter is, as long as Ronda is a huge draw, as long as her merch is flying off the shelves, as long as she's getting these huge pops every time she goes out there, she's going to be at the top of the card.
Yep.
And that's just
business.
That's just the way it is. That's the business. Unfortunately for us, but that's okay. Alistair Fiend back on the YouTubes there. So, Silky, come on, you choose to wrestle.
I do choose to wrestle.
I don't know what that comment was probably from a while ago.
Yeah,
so,
that was probably from my little rant about you being like the worst fan ever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I tend to ignore those things because you say them quite often and they're completely ridiculous. But one thing that's not
literally the worst.
One thing that's not ridiculous.
What's not ridiculous?
Is our good buddy Travis over at Prestige Properties. That's
Boom.
Trav.
He is not
W777 at gmail.com. Travis Wallach for all of your real estate needs down here in the Houston area or, anywhere around here in Texas. Look, we've said it before. We'll say it again. The show is growing, folks. The subscriptions are up. People are watching. The views are up. We got sponsors coming in. We got more sponsors lined up. We got business meeting set up next week
Yes.
where we're going to be talking about expanding into more avenues, more areas, more topics, and so on and so forth. Lots of good things happening. And one of the people that's helping make that happen is our buddy Travis Wallach. And where he's going to help us out is when this vast empire does grow.
And we need $1 Million Studios East.
Who do you think we're giving a call to? It's our buddy Travis Wallach. 713-882-4609, 713-882-4609, or travw777 at gmail.com. Prestige Properties, proud sponsor, Silky, of the Speez and the Benchmark Show.
Boom. And now, let's get to some of these comments. Whoever Savangela, the Latin lover, is.
Savage Latin lover, yeah.
Whatever. I don't like you.
Because the Jaguars beat Silky's Patriots. He's not going to be happy about
And
that.
fuck you to the porn bot that redid it.
So he had to look at it twice. Oh, goodness.
Right.
Who is be around longer, Charlotte or Ronda, a.k.a. Nightman?
Nightman. I think that's a no. His Sunny in Philadelphia reference.
Oh, okay. I don't want you.
Because you watch shit shows.
Is the show moving to Sirius XM? You never know. We got all kinds of irons in the fire, as they say. So we shall
That's
see.
what old people say. That's how I know you fucking old.
Because
Nobody says that now.
okay,
We got a lot of shit popping, though.
they talk about ribs being cooked down the street. So.
We got a lot of shit popping off.
Savage Latin lover's calling you a hater, man, because you don't like you're not digging on the Jaguars.
Fuck Blake Bortles.
The Jaguars, who played without Leonard Fournette, no less, and still got the victory.
Fuck him, too.
Yeah. So it goes. Can we get to Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair? Now, this was the one match that I picked wrong. The one match out of all of them. Silky called the title change, Becky Lynch getting the win. And
Wait.
are you actually going to play the Negro Damas music for one of the few that you got right? Is that what we're doing here?
I missed like 2 or 3. 3.
It doesn't matter, but it's okay. Yeah.
So
We went through the trouble to make Negro Damas music, and when I say we, I mean me.
yeah,
So we might as well play it. I'm all for it.
it's
Okay, just because everybody's totally mesmerized by the Negro Damas music.
don't do that. Don't just play him.
Becky
Don't
Lynch,
play my shit. That's my shit.
Becky Lynch winning the title, I think, is a good thing. I don't think there's an end to this feud in sight. I think it's definitely going to continue. I don't know. Have they mentioned this match on one of the bajillion D pay-per-views we got coming up? Australia, Saudi Arabia, Evolution.
I'm sure there's going to be a rematch for either on Evolution or on not in Saudi Arabia. Fuck no, there's not going to be
Well, of
women
course
on
not in
that
Saudi
show.
Arabia. That's true. Yeah, we don't want anybody getting beheaded while they're over there.
Yeah. So, but as far as the Australia show, they'll either do it there or they'll wait and do it on Evolution because all titles are going to be. The women's titles will be defended, so...
Yeah, you got to figure that's definitely the case. And Rebecca Smith thought they would save it for Evolution as well, and I was with you. I didn't have a problem with it here. I thought it was a good match. I totally dug the fact that Becky Lynch told Charlotte to fuck off and, was like...
You're still in my moment, which was great. That was great heel move right there. Charlotte went to congratulate her like you were the better person, and she was basically like, fuck you, I knew I was the better person, and walked off. That's not what she actually said. But, but I didn't see. I got to go back and watch the whole match because I, for some reason, thought the pay-per-view started at 7, like the actual pay-per-view. So I tuned in about 7:05, and literally all I see is Becky get in the ring, Charlotte go for the spear. She countered it into a 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like what happened? They just had a 6-second match.
Is this like a 5-minute match? And then I go, and then I text Chris, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he starts talking about the New Day, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, I missed that."
Yeah, you missed Jeff Hardy and
I missed all of that
Randy
shit.
Orton. I even tweeted out before the show, "Hey, don't forget everybody, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time. They're starting them an hour early." I think they're doing that with all the pay-per-views now.
Oh, god damn it!
Yeah, they're starting them all at 6 from now on, so keep an eye on. Brooke Jackson was happy that Becky Lynch won, y'all on that Central Time. That's right, Babaruski. That's normal people time, right in the middle.
People.
Not this East Coast bias shit that we get with those folks. We'll get to Randy and
I miss Jeff and Randy.
Yeah,
I will go back probably tomorrow and watch it.
Yeah, that match was outstanding. But Rebecca's telling us that it looks like Starrcade, since they're bringing back Starrcade again, we might get Becky and Charlotte. We're going to see Becky and Charlotte again. Yeah. Hopefully we don't get back to the Becky and Sasha thing where they just hot potato the belt back and forth between the two of them. But it's it's an interesting thing. Yeah, I agree with no effects. New Day versus Rusev Day was very good. That was another one that I picked correctly.
And that was another one
Go
I missed.
figure. Not that it was a bad thing that New Day, it wouldn't have been a bad thing, I should say, if Rusev Day won. But, New Day winning it. I just don't think WWE sold on Rusev Day. And to be honest with you, I'm not either. I mean, I think it's a short-term thing. It's not B-team short-term where it's like, okay, it's going to be cute for like a month and then we'll be over it. But I just don't see any kind of...
How can you say short-term? Because the whole Rusev Day has been popping for a really long time.
Yeah, but them as a tag team, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know that it has staying power. We'll see. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens here, but I kind of feel like WWE feels the same way. Otherwise, we might have seen them win the title there. Let's get on to Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, and I'll take the lead on this one since Silky doesn't prepare for the fucking show by watching the actual events that we're going to talk about. But that's okay.
I watch Raw. Most of it.
It looks like this could be the end for both Hardy brothers, potentially. We did see, for those of you that didn't see the message or the video of Matt Hardy backstage after the Corpus Christi house show this past Friday night, or Friday or Saturday, I can't remember which one it was. But, he said never say never, obviously, but this is probably going to be the last time that you see Woken Matt Hardy in a WWE ring. And there's been speculation that maybe this could be the end of it for Jeff as well. We figured he'd go out on a high note, and he certainly did with that match because it was completely insane. This I don't know how others of you feel about it, but and feel free to chime in on the chat room here, and maybe it's just the immediacy of it that has me elevating my overall opinion of the match. But this instantly became one of my favorite Hell in a Cell matches. I just think Randy Orton as and you've talked about some of the shit that he's done in the past, like in his match with John Cena, for example. When Randy Orton plays that sadistic heel, he is fantastic.
Nobody better than him at that.
Holy shit. And he was so good. Man, his back was fucking bleeding because Jeff was hitting him with the belt, and he's got studs on the belt, so the fucking, studs on the belt are cutting up his back. He got a big hunk of his leg knocked open. He's bleeding out of his leg. And then of course, the shit with the screwdriver. I mean, I said it on Twitter. There were legitimately 3 times in that match where I hollered out, holy shit, because, it was insane. And that doesn't happen very often these days. There was just so much craziness going on in that match. I thought it was outstanding. It was really, really, really fucking good. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Jeff Hardy paid homage to his good friend Vincent Van Gogh in that match. Yeah, the ear thing was nuts. Randy as a heel is the best in the business. I agree. He's very, very good. So we'll see where they go from here. They've certainly set it up to where Jeff at least gets himself a break, because you probably at least saw the spot at the end of the match where he's swinging back and forth from atop the cell.
That part looks stupid. Just a little bit. Because, I'm watching this spot with no context of what happened in the fucking match.
Right.
But all I see is Jeff Hardy swinging. Randy Orton rolls off clearly way before, and then he's like falls through.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, it kind of looked like
it's like. Granted, it's a long match. It was like a 25-minute match, so I can't say he could have just pulled himself up once he saw. But it was just, to me, it looked a little weird, like off that he. I don't know if Randy rolled way too early or what the actual spot was supposed to be.
Yeah, what happened, and what's up, Ryan? Good to have you with us, buddy. They pulled the tongue out of Randy's leg. Yeah, it was a pretty nasty little hunk of skin hanging out of Randy's leg there. It was kind of nasty looking. But just prior to that Jeff Hardy spot, he had set up a smaller ladder, like an 8-foot ladder, and then like a 12-foot ladder in front of it. And it almost looked like he was going to do that thing where he springboards over the taller ladder and through the table. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't going to work. Like he wasn't going to be able to get over the taller ladder. So at that point, he just climbed up to the top and started swinging back and forth. So I'm not entirely sure that they didn't just kind of improvise that moment. And so him falling and Randy getting out of the way too early, you could see where they might be off on that one a little bit.
Spot, like I said, and it was definitely, that was a face first. His face broke the fall. Yeah, or his face broke the table, actually. I was like, the only thing I think would have made Randy even more of a dick, besides insisting the ref count this guy that's clearly fucked up, is if he would have picked his dead weight up, stood him up, and then RKO'd him, and then assisted the ref count.
Yeah, I mean it was still
RKO. You got to finish the match with RKO.
Yeah, well, but when your opponent is already dead, then there's not much you can do with it. Bob he says that spot Jeff did swinging off the cell was what he did in TNA, but he just didn't have the table. And I agree with Rebecca. The sadomasochistic relationship between Hardy and Orton has been great. And listen, the build for this has been great as well.
Yeah, I mean, I
no
disagree
title
with
involved.
this.
They didn't need the fucking title. It was just two guys, and
it seems like
just old school, man.
It almost like they went out there. Not saying they listened to our stuff, but I'm pretty sure we aren't the only ones that had to take that match shouldn't have been inside Hell in a Cell. So it's almost like not a fuck you, but like showing people why that match was put in.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree. And I mean, I didn't have a problem with it being in a cell, but again, you could have made the argument that Charlotte and Becky should have been in the cell. You could have made the argument that AJ and Joe should have been in the cell.
To me, those two were way more, or I guess, qualified with storyline to be in the cell than this match. But I guess with this match, the cell did give Orton that leniency and that free reign to get sadistic. But so I guess he showed us.
Yeah, NoFX fan is saying he was arguing with his brother about whether or not Jeff practiced that finish. Do you think that's something that he would practice ahead of time, or is that just one of those things?
Oh, no,
I mean, so he's certainly not taking the fall.
Well, that's what we call a show day bump. Yeah. Like there's certain things you do in a show that you know is going to hurt, and so you don't practice it because practicing implies you could fail, and if you fail, you're going to fuck yourself up. It's one of those adrenaline's pumping, you're in the moment, you say fuck it and go for it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what they did. A little bit more time if you guys want to get in on the phone lines, 832-937-4559 or 832-93-SILKY. I'm not going to do this song.
832-93-SILKY.
I do like the little lyrics that you came up with just on the fly there. Silky just,
boom,
spitting some freestyle here on the program.
Boom, off the top.
When Jeff and/or Randy are inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, this match will be the one featured. It's certainly going to be one of them.
Yeah,
because
I don't know for
very
Randy as much. He's done way bigger stuff than this.
Well,
let's be honest.
Well, when you're talking about him as sadistic heel, there are a few just for pure shock factor. Few things are going to stick out as much as him twisting. It wasn't just the fact that he put the screwdriver in the ear hole, because you haven't seen this yet. He fucking twisted it. Oh my God.
I mean, and I was like, ew. My skin was crawling just with the whole fish hook in the fucking ear hole.
Yeah, it was
that
nuts.
He first did. So he took that to another level.
NoFX says you call 1-800 the Revival. I haven't quite got that one down yet, but again, my boys didn't show up on Monday Night Raw tonight. Big fucking surprise there.
Yeah, do you think they feel like a failure as a team?
Probably.
I mean, do you think?
I'm sure they don't, but it's still
think they
obnoxious.
Should, though?
Should they feel like failures as a team?
I mean, the fucking Essential was on the show and they were.
Don't even get me fucking started, man.
Let's just dissect that.
And Brooks talking about it earlier. Fucking Finn Balor wasn't on the show today either. Where's that guy been?
The ear molester. Sorry.
Yeah, the ear molestation will definitely be remembered. Finn Balor's not there.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the pay-per-view either. I guess maybe he's getting a little break.
I mean, just
Jim Cornette says it. We can't miss you if you don't go away.
That is true.
Give us some time away.
I don't think it's a miss thing. It's just that, unfortunately, ain't shit. What's Finn Balor doing? Again, it comes to a thing of like, what is he doing of value?
I agree. It's not like he can just go out there and start doing shit. I mean, they got to give him something valuable to do.
But
now, the fact that they're not.
Right now they just don't have anything of value for him.
Now, see, Dr. Huge talks about this, and I know he does it to piss off Finn Balor fans because it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it's also not an altogether bad thing. And I think we mentioned this a long time ago because we were talking about if there's any way to salvage 205 Live. And one of the things that we suggested was putting some guys down there who could actually bring some fucking crowds out there or make people stick around and watch the show. And Finn Balor would be one of those guys. Is there any way he ends up on that show?
Before I would have said no because it was just too hot. But now, I actually may not be a bad thing. It really may not because he's definitely gone down. Like, there's no, I mean, he gets mentioned, but you kind of have to. It's like a pity mention that he was the first Universal Champion. They really don't even mention it that much.
Right.
But, I mean, it's just a pity mention. And up until after Roman took fucking 4 years to get it, he finally got a match for it. So,
yeah, I mean,
Finn Balor just doesn't.
They can't seem to figure out what to do with him. He hasn't had any other major title.
They need
reigns.
to turn him heel.
That wouldn't be a bad thing. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
And it may be because I'm a New Japan fan, and like his work with the Bullet Club, the original Bullet Club, is fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
see, and I missed that run of him in the Bullet Club, but everybody that I talked to this season
you gotta
says
go back and look. Like I didn't see it either. Back when I started watching New Japan, it was right when AJ Styles was in, transitioning from Styles to Omega. But I went back and just looked up, old Finn Balor in the Bullet Club.
Yeah,
because it was like one of those things. Like, oh shit, that motherfucker started the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
And so I walked, and just the whole storyline of how they did it was awesome. Like him as a heel, I think he will have. You give him a heel role, he will be more free. And I think he will take off and be one of the most hated people there. And he's like already the most beloved person there. So he's got half the battle there. That's what makes a great heel turn. The fans got to fucking love you so they can be shocked and hate you for turning on them.
Yeah, well, and back to the 205 Live thing, because we're seeing a lot of names getting thrown out here. And NoFX says WWE doesn't push 205 on the pay-per-view, so why would they put their mid-cards on 205? Here's the thing. It's going to be looked upon as a demotion going to 205 Live unless and until you start putting some names on there that can actually draw and actually do something positive for that show that makes people want to stick around after SmackDown Live is over and actually watch 205 Live when it's being recorded. And, they just moved it to a new spot. It's either before or after NXT. I don't remember. I think it's after NXT. That doesn't make a shit at all. You're still recording it after SmackDown Live. Where they show it on TV doesn't really matter. You're showing it after SmackDown Live right now, and nobody's watching it anyway. So, I mean, some of the other names that guys were throwing out, Rey Mysterio's another guy. If he shows up, maybe he goes there. I don't know.
No,
Daniel Bryan's another guy.
Absolutely not.
People
that's
throw
ridiculous.
People throw Daniel Bryan's name out there.
That's ridiculous too.
You think Daniel Bryan on 205 Live is ridiculous?
I think so. There's not right now. His career is still on that upswing. Like you say, it is technically a demotion until, it's going to take that one person that gets that demotion and is like, fuck it, I'm going to make the best of this. If I got to be on 205 Live, I'm going to make sure motherfuckers watch it. And then we can start talking about it being a viable show and not such a demotion. But for right now, it's a demotion. And Daniel Bryan is on the upswing with his career right now. So, no, Daniel Bryan would not be on 205 Live.
See, here's the thing.
Maybe.
Neville went down there, and Neville made that shit interesting because he was a badass. It was a heel turn and a move to 205 Live. He had some great matches while he was down there. His fucking match with Austin Aries that was on the pre-show at WrestleMania, which was fucking stupid, but I understand why they did it.
I mean, I thought it's one of those. I think I've suffered from the same thing where people suffer for with the AJ Nakamura, where it was they thought they had expectations of this, and then they got like this. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But listen, I had expectations, so it didn't reach what I thought both of those guys could do.
And here's the thing. The reason Neville worked, in my opinion, down there is because here was a guy who had a decent run on the main roster. Not as good as I would like to see because I'm a big Neville mark, but he had a decent run on the main roster. And so he brought some legitimacy to 205 Live when he went down there. And people were like,
did he really have a decent run? What the fuck did he do of value? He was the tag team partner.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was decent. Look, it was not a great run by any stretch. I feel like
it was not decent is what I'm trying to point out. It was shit.
It was a decent run.
It was shit.
He was regularly on TV.
Losing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's regularly on TV.
That doesn't matter. But what did he do of value? Name one thing.
Listen, I'm not saying he had a good run. I'm saying he had a decent run. If you are on WWE and you're consistently on WWE television, that's a decent run. I think anybody out there
at one point was consistently on WWE. You're going to say he had a fucking decent run? No, he was a fucking jobber. That was his job.
Neville was not a jobber.
Pretty much.
No, man, Neville had that huge win on the pay-per-view where he teamed with Stephen Amell and beat Stardust and whoever the fuck.
Wade Barrett. That was it.
That was a big match.
That was not.
You know what derailed Neville's run on the main roster? Was when he got his fucking leg broken against Chris Jericho when he was about to be in the ladder match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. I feel like that totally fucked him over, and he never got back to that point again. And it's unfortunate because...
Yeah, sometimes that shit happens.
And he had a fucking spectacular match with Seth Rollins as well. Again,
that match was good.
This is just me being a Neville Mark. I'll totally agree with that.
That's you being a Neville Mark. But as you being a Neville Mark is saying that he had a decent run when, in fact, he did not.
It wasn't too bad.
It was terrible.
Dr. Hughes says Daniel Bryan actually wrestles, but Finn doesn't. He just kicks. Which, hey, look, I've talked about Finn Balor's moveset, and we don't get caught up on movesets too much. But
moves don't matter.
Finn Balor does about 8 different variations of kicking you with both feet. Whether it's the double stomp, standing, or the coup de grace, which is basically the double stomp off the top rope, or the missile drop kick, which is hitting you with both feet as well. And he does a shitty sling blade. And he does a dive over the top rope. That's pretty much it. Yep. But hey, he also goes, "Raw!" and everybody throws their arms up, and so he's over.
Yeah.
Go figure.
He does have the best interest in the game right now. When he does the demon. Not
the
so
demon
much.
entrance is pretty good.
Yeah, not so much the regular now. He doesn't make that special anymore.
Brooke and Alistair agree with you about old Prince Devitt over there in New Japan and how good that run was.
Yeah.
Bobaruski, probably that moment. Injuries derail pushes. I totally agree. And it's probably what happened to the Revival as well, because one of those fuckers got hurt. And
nope, the Revival were just a revival. But nice try, though.
Revival are so good. They're going to be back. They're going to be back. Back would imply that they were actually here in the first place, but we'll see. And he does show off his penis on the ring apron, as Rebecca Smith points out, this being Finn Balor. Which is always... It's something that doesn't really get talked about very often, but that's really like over the top. What other possible reason is there for him to do that other than look at my dick? Like, that's all he's doing.
That is true. Hey, I guess some people, they say sex sells. It's the same for women as well.
I guess. That
is the reason why all the divas, their boobs are all out and their pants are extremely tight. This show. Oh, speaking of asses, Bailey getting caught on the top rope. That was awesome.
I missed that tonight. I barely caught the very tail end of it, but
of course I'm going to see it. It was fucking Dana Brooke.
And, Black Man's Dynamite.
Yeah, Kryptonite. But
Kryptonite, sorry, Dynamite. He was hoping it was Dynamite.
Oh, yeah. But what's up, Dana Brooke?
No effects trying to say the Revival needs to go to 205.
832-93 Silky Dana Brooke.
Yeah, because she's watching right now, just so that she can give you a call. When does he show his bulge? No effects.
We're not going to talk about
when
that.
Doesn't he show his bulge is the question.
Yes, listen. Why are we talking? See, this week derailed really fast.
Well, that's because we got lots of people in the chat. They want to talk about shit, and we try to be there for the ladies as well.
Do we? No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
Ladies, we don't want to talk about that.
Rebecca Smith likes Corbin. She thinks he's hot. Should we talk about the hotness that is Baron Corbin?
No.
Can we get Baron Corbin some ring gear? For fuck's sake?
Can we get him some ring gear?
Stop wrestling in fucking slacks and a button-down shirt. Let's see. The Sleaze. I'm catching up on Sleaze. Sleaze screaming "fuck you" at all the bots that repeat his lines. Sleaze drops more F-bombs than just about anybody on any program that I happen to watch, and that's one of the things that I find so amusing. Not just Black Man Kryptonite, White Man's Kryptonite too, says no effects. So you got some competition, Silky. You better watch out.
Yeah. But once you go black, you never go black.
Okay, that's what Silky says. Let's look ahead to SmackDown Live tomorrow. We're going to get the Rusev Shinsuke Nakamura U.S. title match tomorrow. U.S. title being just about the only main title that didn't show up. Seth Rollins was there, didn't defend the Intercontinental title, obviously, but he was at least on the show. Nakamura was a no-show for Hell in a Cell, but he will defend the title against Rusev Day. Who do you got in the U.S. title match tomorrow? You think Rusev gets a shot with this thing?
I really don't. I think Nakamura will win. I don't know why they booked that match.
It seems like two guys that they're unwilling to really get behind 100%.
It's one guy they're unwilling to get behind, and one guy they have no clue how they want to get behind him. No.
Which being which? Because I don't think they really know what the fuck to do with either one of them.
Well, Nakamura, they just not getting behind. But Rusev is like, you put him in one match and he's like a fucking heel, and then you put him against someone else and then he's like a face. Like, the crowd loves him, so I guess they're using this 50-50 booking as far as heel and face goes with him, depending on. So he's going to be the face of this match because the crowd fucking loves him, and they love him a lot more than they like Nakamura right now.
That's true. And again, you know, Brooks says people on Periscope need to stop it with the wrestling body parts. Grow up, you bunch of children.
Except for, Dana Brooke.
Except, and Bailey's ass getting caught on the rope.
Bailey's ass getting caught on the rope. It was pretty funny.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Rebecca says that Rusev and Shinsuke are also scheduled for the Starrcade thing. So I got to find out about this Starrcade.
I mean, there's been rumors for fucking years that they're going to bring Starrcade back, and then they never do.
Well, they brought it back last year, didn't they? They had
it was a house show.
Yeah,
it was a fucking house show that they didn't really promote. It was just, I guess, if you were in that area, you knew the show was called Starrcade. But other than that, I think the only footage I've seen of it was Arn Anderson giving Dolph Ziggler a spine buster.
Yeah, which anytime you bring, Arn, eat shit bot. Anytime you bring back Arn Anderson for a spine buster, that's a good thing. I'm totally okay with that. So, okay, well, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we see a title change tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. Rusev Day not getting the tag team titles, I can see that because, again, I think it's a short-lived gimmick. I don't think Aiden English is a long-term guy there, unless he's just a super guy backstage and he's one of those guys that they love to have around.
And he's part of the Guerrero family, so...
Well, that's true, too.
He has that going for him.
But as far as talented workers go, Rusev is really, really... I wonder if Rusev is just kind of a fuck-up. Because, you see him with all the stuff that he does with... And I say that... I mean, I like Rusev. I love him as a performer. I think he's great. But, you see him with all the shit that he does with Lana and everything like that. Like on the commercial for Total Divas where they're getting yelled at for, rolling around naked on the beach and shit like that. He just seems like a total goof. I wonder if he's just such a fucking goof off that maybe that's why they don't get behind him more because...
I mean... It's like I say, wrestling comes in circles. He had his time in the sun a while back when he started. I mean, for God's sakes, he wrestled the biggest star in the company and came to the ring on a fucking tank.
I'm telling you. And how the mighty have fallen. That
is true.
He's been nowhere near that.
So let's real quick touch on this Triple H Undertaker match.
NoFX says, do we think it'll turn into a tag team match?
I don't think so, no.
I don't think so.
Like, Shawn Michaels is the type of performer that if he's coming, you got to advertise that. You can't do the spot that day he's wrestling. So I think it could lead to maybe Saudi Arabia doing a tag team match, the Brothers of Destruction against DX. I think that's what it will lead to, but I don't see him wrestling. But do you think that adding Kane and Shawn Michaels to the corners makes it more interesting?
I mean, I think it's just another way to get those guys on their show so that they can do an entrance and everybody can pop for the entrance.
I don't really think... I think they're honestly trying to make it somewhat interesting because really it doesn't matter. This match in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter at all because, yeah, they say they're wrestling for the last time, but, I mean, this is WWE. They said Rock and Cena was once in a lifetime, and they did it again. So I don't buy that this is the last time. They said that Hell in a Cell match was the end of an era. We weren't going to see that again, and now we're seeing it. So
I totally
don't
agree.
buy that part of it. I think it's just them trying to add a little more spice because people want to see Shawn Michaels. And, of course, if you have someone in Triple H corner, you got to have someone in Undertaker's corner.
And Kane makes sense.
Yeah.
Kane makes sense.
Kane's the only one.
Bobaruski says Rusev got screwed when Lana spilled the beans on the engagement. And he cut his hair.
Yeah, he did kind of get
He cut
screwed.
the Samson locks.
I mean, but did he really? He was in a terrible, the love triangle thing with Summer Rae, Dolph, and him and Lana. And it was like this whole to-do that was just
Was that around the time they got engaged? I thought that was a long time before that.
That's what stopped the whole... They killed that whole thing because obviously we can't have them on there. Him trying to get Summer Rae to get back at Lana when they just put on Facebook and Instagram that they're fucking engaged.
Right. Shawn Michaels is just promoting Marine 6. That's why he's back. Well, yeah. I mean,
you got to see the Marine 6.
He pretty much said it. We're still hooking up a screening of Marine 6.
Oh, yeah. We've got to make
Soki's going to get in touch with The Miz this week, and we're going to figure out a way to show it live here on the show.
Or we could just watch it and then review it.
What fun would that be?
It's probably not going to be fun because the movie's probably going to be god awful.
Yeah, that's why we got to have so much of we got to have all of our people here chatting with us while we're watching the insanity. Brooke's mom likes the Undertaker, and her dad likes Triple H. A family divided. On the huge match there. All right, folks. Well, we are getting close to the end of the program here tonight, so I want to thank all of you for joining us here. Don't forget to check out the tip jar if you want to chip into the cause here, tinyurl.com/SB tip jar. Thanks to all of you leaving us super hearts here today. Where are our super heart people? Let's look and see here. Damn it, I always do that. I hit the wrong button. And then there we go. Old Jeffrey Cross is here. Brandon Apter, Anthony, Dr. Huge, Alistair Fiend, all of you guys for dropping super hearts. We appreciate that. And to all of you who chimed in on the discussion today, we appreciate it. Tip. Oh, I wondered what you were doing. Sleaze is taking out the bots for us, so we appreciate that. Yeah, and don't forget, we are back on Thursday. Look, Thursday is triple header day, people. You got the Dr. Huge show at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Speez and the Benchmark show at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then after our show is over, you go immediately into the Get the Tables podcast at 9 o'clock Central. So 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, Dr. Huge, Speez and the Benchmark, Get the Tables.
Watch them all.
Thursdays are great, so make sure that you check that out. So, anything else for the people before we get out tonight?
You are the worst person I ever knew.
This is every time he wants to bitch and moan about that. Thank you so much for being with us, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Speez and the Benchmark show.